name's Anissa Wesley. This is Faith and Footsteps, where we put our feet to our faith. How y'all doing today? Let me know where you are listening from, and how you're doing on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm excited to extend my walk a little bit and enjoying this nice weather. It was a little chilly. Now it's kind of getting warm, which is nice. Getting some good vitamin D. Here's a mental health tip. If you're feeling low energy, sad, depressed, one thing that could possibly help is getting out into the sun, and also possibly adding a vitamin D supplement to your regimen, especially for those of a darker melanin complexion, because the natural source of vitamin D for us can be a little more challenging for us to absorb. And so, a lot of the issues that we face with health can be chalked back to vitamin D often. I'm not a doctor, so obviously ask your doctor as well for guidance on that. But as a therapist, I've done studies on this and research to help some of my clients going through similar things. And the sun, moving your body, getting out is a beautiful thing. And it actually correlates because a lot of people get the winter blues, the holiday blues. Um, Depression numbers start to go up when the weather starts to cool down, you know, and that is one of the reasons. There's several, but one of the reasons is because the sun is being blocked by the weather. So just keep that in mind. If you are having issues with mental health, anxiety, depression, and even some health issues, try to get out into the sun and get you some vitamin D. So, welcome in, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope that you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, but also hope that you would like this video, share it with someone who needs it. And my prayer is that you would get something from today. Um, Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're listening from. Welcome in. And, just we're going to enjoy this walk and talk, enjoying this walk and talk. So, as you guys know, I share a lot about my faith in this while I walk, because this is called Faith and Footsteps. So, yes, I share a lot about my faith. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian therapist. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a lot of different things. But ultimately, I love to share and encourage others. Um, it's this website, Seek Jesus. It's called Seek Jesus. You're welcome. Um, and she was asking where I got my hoodie from. On the back of it, it says, "Fear is a liar." So I've been wearing that unconsciously all month, um, on these walks in the morning because it's been a little cold. So, anywho, it's a great conversation starter. I even joked with a coworker yesterday. I was like, when my job starts asking me, what am I going to wear for Halloween? I'm going to just wear a shirt that I have. It's not a hoodie, but a shirt that I have that says, "Fear is a liar." And that's going to be my costume. It's not really a costume, it's just me. But that's what I might wear. So, um, anyway, what was I saying? I'm on here to encourage you. And if that's something that you're looking for, honestly, I do not feel like you came across my page by mistake. I believe there's intention in everything, even if you are annoyed by what I'm saying. Like, oh, I don't want to talk about faith. Like, what is she talking about? Um, I do believe that this is a divine appointment. So anyway, today I was reading in Matthew. I'm gonna actually pause here for a second because I'm hot and tired. And this is a nice backdrop. I love this backdrop here. So, um, what was I saying? Sorry guys, I keep losing my thoughts. Hello, welcome, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure to subscribe before you leave today and like this video. I was walking and listening to the book of Matthew, and I was continuing on basically from where I stopped. I'm a very repetitive person in the sense when I study something, I like to really get an idea of what I'm studying. So I may listen to it, read it, look up words involved in it over and over again. Um, but anyway, I was in started at chapter 12, which was a really long chapter in Matthew, by the way. And by the time I got to chapter 14, I was really intrigued because this is when Jesus began to explain um he began to explain the parable of the sower. And I was like, oh, okay. He's explaining it now. And I just thought it was so powerful. And then as I kept going, I don't know where I was actually, if I was in 15 or 16. But then he starts to talk about, welcome back, Wes. I hope you like the title today. This is in honor, well, in honor of God, but also you been saying that for a couple days. So good morning. So welcome back again. And what was I gonna say? Oh, so in that chapter where I forget where I was listening in, it talks about when Jesus was walking on the water in the fourth watch of the night, right? So it was like 3 in the morning. This is the last watch of the night, 3 in the morning. And um, I think it's the last watch. Anyway, if you know, correct me. And then he was out there just walking on water, which I don't know what Jesus was doing by, by walking on the water. But I think it was all purposeful because he knew that this is what this is what was going to happen. A lot of times God will do stuff that doesn't make sense to us, and it's all to bring other people to him, right? So anytime you have to be obedient to God, just remember that it's bigger than you. Anytime it doesn't make sense, which most of the time it doesn't, it's because you have to be obedient in order for other people to be saved. And you'll get that when I'm done with this part. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, that must be a ghost. We don't believe in ghosts. We rebuke that, you know? And and Jesus is like, no, it's me, do not be afraid. It's all right. And Peter, being Peter, was like, well, Lord, and I'm paraphrasing, so you can read the chapter later on, but Peter was like, well, Lord, if it's you, then call out to me to come to you on the water. And well, Lord have mercy on that situation. There's a fire truck going on. I always try to pray when I hear that. And then the dogs are howling. Like, I don't understand. All right. So, sorry for that. I'm the one distracted. I know you guys can't even hear it. Um, so Peter's like, call to me to come out to the water if that's really you. And so God is like, all right, well, come on, join you. And so Peter starts to walk on the water, but this is when it gets good because um This is when it gets good because when Peter sees what's around him, he sees that the waves, the word they use are boisterous, meaning that it's pretty wild. I don't know if you've ever seen big waves, but he's literally walking on these waves, right? And he's like, oh, this is scary, right? Thank you for the compliment. He's like, this is scary. And he begins to sink. And while God is like saving him, this is how I imagine it. You know, he's calling out to the Lord. And while the Lord is saving him, he's like, you a little faith. Why did you doubt? You know, why did you doubt? Why did you let fear come in? I called you out on the water and you let your fear make you sink. You made, good morning, you made the fear that you have make you focus on something that wasn't me. And I just thought that was so powerful because even in the midst of Peter fearing, even in the midst of it, God still saved him. So how you feel and you doing something perfectly, it never hinges on God being there to rescue you and to help you back up. So I want everyone to remember that. This is not about being perfect. As a human being, this is the person who was so close to Jesus, right? And he still feared. He still got distracted by what was around him. And he still allowed that to implant doubt into his heart about what he could do with Jesus. And so, but that was only because he took his focus off of Jesus, right? So, how many of us have been focusing on the storms of life, on, oh, I gotta pick him up, say hi. How many of us have been focusing on the storms of life, on how difficult things are, on what things look like, right? This is called faith and footsteps. We walk by faith and not by sight. But yet, Peter was walking by sight, you know? And so, and that's one of the reasons why doing this fast is so important in this month of October. Um, the Fall Out of Fear fast is what it's called. And we are each day fasting and praying from the hours of 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. in order to starve our fears and to feed our faith and to fall out of love with fear. We're putting our attention towards the Lord, right? We're putting our attention and our affection back on Him. We're not being distracted. That's what's going on here. So I hope that you would join the fast. It's not too late. You still got about 21 days or 20 days. So why, so why not join and, be blessed by this time of prayer and fasting? You can do it. 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's lightweight, right? Most of y'all don't eat until after 1 o'clock anyway. But when you fasted, all of a sudden you're like dying before 9 a.m. Like, really? You can do it. So anyway, I thought it was so powerful. But what Jesus said, or what was written, I think it might have been Matthew that said this. Um, I'm just saying, okay. But what was said was, you know, because of what they saw, because of what they saw on the like the display of trust that Peter did and the miracle that Jesus did, what they saw bewildered them and it brought many to Jesus. it brought many to believe in him. So, like I said in the beginning, a lot of times when God will do something or he'll call you to do something, it is for the benefit of others. It may be uncomfortable to you, and you may not do it even perfectly. Peter didn't do it perfectly, right? Peter is not God. That was the point. You cannot do something that God is calling you to do without him. When you take your focus off of God, this is so good, guys. This is so good. I don't know if you understand. This is so good. When you take your focus off of God, when you're doing something that he's called you to do, you will sink, just like Peter did, because he was focusing on everything else. He wasn't focusing on the one who called him. So I'll ask you this. What are you focused on? Let me switch hands. What are you focused on? Are you focused on the winds and waves? Yeah. And if you know in the Bible, Jesus also said to the winds and waves, peace be still, right? And they were. So why are you afraid of something that God has control over? Oh, come on. Why are you afraid of it? Why are you allowing fear to steal and steer your life? I talked about a couple of days ago about the centurion and how he was aware he was a man under authority, but he was also a man in authority, is what he says. And he understood the authority of Jesus because he knows that if he tells his men to do something, if they even hear the word, that they do it. Good morning. So I'm going through the wilderness right here. Safari. And out of breath. Hello. Thank you. Okay. So what was I saying? The guy walking by, he was like, I like your hair, you fly. Well, thank you. I try. So um, what are you focused on, right? And why are you scared of something that the Lord controls? Why are you scared of something that the Lord controls? And why are you allowing fear to steal your purpose from you? Oh, that's where I was going. The centurion, right? And so I got a revelation that people don't understand. A lot of people who live by fear, and sometimes you don't even think you're living by fear, but you're actually living by fear. I have a testimony for that that I'll give briefly. So when I was applying for colleges, I didn't even want to apply to a certain college because of the fear of rejection. I was like, they're not going to accept me, so why even try? Right? That was fear based. And I was also self preservation because what I was saying was, I'm not going to let them reject me. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't know. I didn't know whether or not they would reject me or not. But I was afraid that I wasn't good enough and that they would, and that would hurt more than just trying. But what really would hurt more is not knowing. never knowing because I didn't try, that would hurt more. But I didn't have that perspective. And I had a friend, we were both in the same process of applying to colleges. And she was like, just try. Like, you don't know what's the worst thing that could happen. She was giving me therapy before I was in therapy. She ended up being a wonderful social worker as well. But so, you know, I thank God for the friendship that we had at that time. And she just encouraged me to do it. And so I did it. And guess what? I got in. But what the Lord was showing me was that when I was talking about the centurion, is that so many of us miss out on opportunities to be in positions of authority due to fear, due to fear. And so you don't understand the kind of authority that the Lord has because you've been afraid to step into even a worldly sense of authority. So so that's what I got from that, or the revelation that I got from that. So I want you to take inventory, and I will take inventory as well of my own life about how many times I have allowed fear to steal positions of authority from me, or even allow me to underestimate my own authority, right? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to take inventory, and I want you to take a leap of faith this year, this last quarter. If you've been avoiding applying to something, if you don't want to apply for the job because you feel like you don't fit all of the qualifications, or they wouldn't really like you because you don't really fit, or whatever your cases are, I want you to kick fear in the butt and do it. Just do it. And the advantage that we have as believers is that is we have God, the favor of God, the blessing of God. So you never know what door he's going to open for you. You know, we walk by faith and not by sight. Somebody might just hire you, man. I don't know what it is about you, but I really like you. Even though you're not meeting this 2-year requirement of experience, I really like you. So I'm gonna take a shot on you, right? You just never know what people are going to do because of your relationship with the Lord. So, as Wes would say, how do forgive me if I mess it up, Wes, but step out the boat, right? Step out the boat and trust Jesus. Anyway, guys, let's start wrapping this up today. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. I hope that you would go look at it again when you get a chance. And I also hope that you would join the Fall Out of Fear Fast. If that describes you and you feel like you've lost out on opportunities, I want you to join the fast. And I'm going to put in this description box my email list so you can get all the instructions for the fast right after this message ends. So give me like 5 minutes, but I'm going to put it there so that you can join in and you can step into all that the Lord has for you. Okay. And I'm also going to put the scripture reference in Matthew about um, Peter and Jesus walking on water. Okay. All right, guys. I hope You have a wonderful rest of your day, the rest of your Saturday, and I will talk to you later. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. And remember that you have everything that you need to live your life bravely, and you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you.